just wanna see your face at home. 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 You can't do me right, so I decide that
I'm going to make this simple, so you're sure to understand. You're a teddy bear, you stink, and I don't like you.
Ariane! Hello? Is this real?
You know the difference between love and obsession.
Does anybody? Who am I talking to?
Yeah, I might need you to chill.
By virtue of this strategy, and he suffered great casualties.
Magnum, Magnum, hell, why you savage?
Get up, Callum. You know what the bear wants.
What are you talking about? We've got to run away.
Can't run away forever.
I want to welcome you to my home, Lancaster, a vibrant town in Lancashire, where you can indulge yourself in a diverse and delicious offering of British cooking to a multitude of international cuisines, embracing local and seasonal produce in their dishes. The passion of trying new food and exploring begins at the outdoor Carter Market on Wednesday and Saturday in the town square. I will be bringing you along as I interview and taste with my partner and lovely neighbour Chris to show you the food that make up my vibrant town. Bon appetit. The first type of cuisine we will be visiting in the Carter Market will be the well-known Thai. Their strong romantic components with a spicy add a unique texture to their street food. It is being sold in Lancaster by the university students who run this store.
We're selling like chicken satay is there. Yes, and also gai yang. We call gai yang. Actually, it's chicken barbecue in Thai style.
Gaya. So it's chicken barbecue.
In Thai style, so the taste is quite different.
Oh, good. So what do you put on them?
Marinated with coconut milk, satay sauce, Thai spices and herbs. Like there's so many now. So this is 2 Thai spring rolls because we freshly made it. It's homemade with the sauce.
They rely on Lancaster's local produce from allotments and home markets to produce rich Thailand flavours. I brought home with me today a chicken stir-fried rice noodles, prepared with different spices, coconut oil and egg yolk to create a well-loved dish. Chris, I've been wondering, what do you think about Thai food?
Right, Thai food is really tasty. It is fragrant, spicy, and especially this dish has a real hint of spice in it, and you can taste coconut as a back note. And with the chicken is cooked just right. It is moist, it is tender, and it is a completely round dish. And as you've just explained to me, all the ingredients come from local Lancaster. Brilliant.
The next type of street food we'll be looking at is the Mediterranean cuisine using Greek cookery. There's a wide range of vegetables, olive oil and other important ingredients with meats and fish with their foods. Its light flavours are infused together to be comforting for the taster. Originating from ancient Greece, it has been influenced by both Western and Eastern cultures. The stand sells a chicken souvlaki wrap prepared beautifully on a grill with a mellow sauce made from olive oil.
Prepare quality ingredients and offer quality nice.
Oh, wow. Okay, so where should we begin? The whole wrap is just, I find it very flavored, very calming after the Thai.
It's just natural food, isn't it? You taste in the tomatoes, the peppers, the onions. It's cooked. It's cooked in olive oil, very gently, and the little bit of tzatziki that's in there is nice. It's tzatziki is just like a yogurt with herbs and grated cucumber. The Greeks like their olives and their lemons and their olive oil. They make their own olive oil, and it's a deeper taste.
The last store I went to was selling Jamaican food, a type of cuisine which uses a range of cooking techniques, flavours, spices, and influences from indigenous people of the island of Jamaica.
Jamaican food is usually very hot, very spicy. They use things like jerk, chicken jerk beef, but it really is, and you'll find it is very hot. It's like little pancakes with fresh veg in, and I mean, just looking at it, I'm saying fresh veg. It could be just red and green chilies, because they just love chilies. I think because of the heat of the country, and it's the same in India, and because it's so hot, they tend to use a lot of chilies, And I think they don't notice the heat because they're eating it all the time. And if you ate it every day, you would find you were used to it.
As you can see, Lancaster is a place where different cultures mix together. One can try different flavours and unique cuisines. I really want to welcome you to the Carter Market every Wednesday and Saturday and experience the tastes that make up a carnivore life.
The hawfinch is the UK's largest finch. It's a large, heavily built finch with a large head, bull neck and a powerful conical shaped bill. The back's rusty brown, the breast and belly are buff and the head is orange brown with a black bib and grey neck. The wings are a glossy blue-black with a broad white wing patch. The ends of the secondary feathers are splayed and twisted to form curiously shaped ends and the tail is short with a broad white terminal band. The bill is grey-blue in summer, yellow in winter and the legs are flesh brown. The juveniles, however, are more orange coloured and lack black markings and their breast is grey-yellow and belly is darkly spotted. The confusion species to these birds would be the waxwing, however these are winter migrants only and have a crest. With the hawfinch, during the winter the British population can almost double as northern European birds migrate to Britain, but the British birds are mostly sedentary, though some will migrate. The best places to find them would include Sizer Castle in Cumbria, Scone Palace in Scotland and the Forest of Dean in Gloucestershire. How to find them, however, is harder than you may think, so here are some tips on finding them. Firstly, it's important to know hawfinches prefer to hang out in the tops of trees, so make sure you just check the highest points you can see. They have a very characteristic tick call, which to some sounds like a fizzy drink can opening. Now the third tip is plan your visit. The best times to connect with these birds are between first light and 11 AM. The best months to visit are late January, February and particularly good months are March and April. However, a huge downside to this gorgeous bird is that it's unfortunately declining rapidly. It's now on the red list of species of conservation concern and a huge factor in the decline is global warming. Fumes let out by cars called global warming, which increase the carbon dioxide, CO2, in the atmosphere, which increases the greenhouse effect. Now global warming has had huge catastrophic effects. They've included wildfires, declining water supplies, reduced agricultural yields and health impacts, even insect outbreaks. This also changes the environment hugely and also affects these birds and the wildlife in general massively. One of the best ways to record bird numbers and help the population is by ringing them. This is the process seen above.
Are we going to keep going?
We rung the birds at Sizer Castle in things called mist nets. Mist nets are there so the birds can't see them, but we can. And when the birds are caught in mist nets, we then release them and we ring them with a unique ring, and each unique ring has a unique number. And then when that unique number is found anywhere in the country on that bird's leg, the number is then recorded, and then we can keep track of where the birds are, where they have been, and what the habits are. This helps us get a better understanding of areas, populations, numbers, and places they are most likely to feed. Each bird's ring number here is written in a book so we know which bird has been radio tagged. Then as you can see here, the radio tags have been fitted with a PVA glue made to last around 6 weeks. The tag is then fitted to the bird's back so that when we release the bird back into the wild, we can pick up and locate the signal from the radio tag just about anywhere. This helps give us a good idea of nearby birds in the area and is one of the best ways to find breeding pairs and numbers, and even roosting spots. We did this to 6 individual birds, 3 males and 3 females. Now after we've radio tagged all of the individual birds, they are then released back into the wild. Now the birds do continue to feed under the trees and in the car park at Sizer Castle in the prime months mentioned earlier. The hawfinch is an all-around incredible species of bird, and with the help of the BTO, the Wildlife Trust and the RSPB reserves, we are slowly understanding more about this bird than previously. A lot of more further studies have been gone into trying to bring this bird back from the brink. Studies have included finding food sources, breeding areas, counting and finding numbers. I really hope you enjoyed my mini documentary on the hawfinch, and some added video clips and photographs will be added on to the end of the documentary for you to watch and enjoy. Thank you.
Okay, so today I'm going to be talking about a topic which I think is just really damn cool. Now, if you don't think so, then I'm not forcing you to watch this video. You can go and watch something else. I'm not stopping you. So, Comic-Con. You're here because you're either thinking you want to go and you don't know what it is yet, or because you know someone who's been and you genuinely have no idea what it is. Okay, so a lot of the time I hear people insulting people that like to go dressed in cosplay. which is stupid because it seems socially unacceptable for people to go and dress up as anything, even on Halloween. Like, once you hit that level, once you hit the age of 13, all of a sudden you're too old to dress up. Come on, that's stupid, right? But anyway, the topic here, cosplay. Yeah, let's talk about it. Yeah, like I said, cosplay is when people dress as their favourite characters. Now this could range from video game characters to movie and anime characters, and there's usually a big divide in skill and how good the cosplay is. A common thing I see, at least in my opinion, is this. Cosplays of anime characters are usually very bad and look cheap most of the time, whilst characters from video games usually have more effort and or skill put into them. You do have some exceptions, but not many. This, in my opinion, is down to the fact that anime characters have a more simple design that can't be translated into 3D and or real life very well, whilst on the other hand, video game characters are often already in 3D and are very complex and detailed. So it's both easier to be made into a cosplay and more difficult because of the level of detail needed. This usually means that when someone wants to do a character, they're determined to get all the detail required, which in turn means the cosplay looks better in the end when they've made it. Okay, so now I'm going to have an interview. I've got Connor with me here, so I'm going to have this a few times throughout the video. So, Connor, have you ever cosplayed before?
No, but I really want to.
Okay, if you were going to, what would you probably cosplay as?
I'd probably cosplay as something like Wrench, or maybe something like something from a film like Guardians of the Galaxy. So maybe Drax or Star-Lord, something that's my taste.
Right, yeah. And what would you say your favourite kind of cosplay is that other people do?
Warhammer, definitely, just because he put so much time and effort into it.
Yeah.
It's brilliant when the final product looks absolutely amazing.
Look upon my face defines the room. There's so much I want to say that I hide from you. And it's obvious it hurts, I can make it worse, but I know my limits. Show me a Bible verse, 'cause I don't wanna search, just wanna end it. It's so hard for me to pray, why I sit and wait in a line for change. And maybe you'll relate if you ever played a waiting game. Now my life is like a merry-go-round, sick and ready to stop now. And I can't handle this speed. Stop the world and let me off. Stop the world and let me off. Stop the world, let me off. Let me off. Please stop the world, let me off. Let me off, please.
Climate change, an issue so big it's becoming almost impossible to control, with scientists predicting that the solar ice caps will have melted by the end of the 21st century. Why isn't there enough being done to slow down climate change?
Right now, I think one of the biggest issues is climate change. It seems that most of the US senators just brush it off as if it's not a real issue. it is a real issue, David, and it's leading to more fracking facilities and power plants being built, destroying the ecosystem and what we're given.
Power plants, fracking, deforestation, car emissions. The list goes on, but they all have one thing in common. They all release greenhouse gases like CO2. These gases create a greenhouse effect that increases the planet's temperature. But with facts like this, why do some people still believe that climate change is not real?
This so-called climate change is really just one big lie there to hurt the wealthy businessmen like myself. It has been proven that they're all just one big religion and that they all want to believe that it exists, but really there has been no evidence that climate change does exist. In fact, in the past 100 years it has been getting cooler and cooler, and it is now at a record low in how cool it actually is.
So with all the evidence and 95% of scientists saying climate change is a real problem, why do people, especially high-profile politicians and businessmen, completely ignore the fact that this is a real issue? Over the past couple of years, a clear pattern has formed as to why nearly all wealthy politicians call climate change a lie, and it's not what you might think. Most politicians, especially in America, either own or have investments in coal, oil, and fracking companies. This has ultimately made America the second biggest contributor to climate change, closely behind China. Because these companies contribute to climate change, if they all agree climate change is real, then their profits will drop and they'll begin to lose money. This proves that they care more about money than the environment. So what you're saying is you disagree with most of the world's scientists and everything which has been proven about climate change.
Now, proven is a strong word, and it has been shown that there's no evidence of what is being shown to the public. Now, these facts have been altered in some way by multiple scientists. So, to answer your question, yes.
So how would you explain the causes for the solar ice caps melting dramatically year after year?
Well, as I've said, okay, everything is a lie. Alright? Just because you've seen it on television and in images does not mean that it's true. Okay? I have spoken and seen images from someone from NASA, okay? And it's shown that the solar ice caps have not decreased in a couple of decades, so quite a lie.
But what about all the people that have visited the solar ice caps? They've all come back saying that they have all melted dramatically.
David, these are liars, okay? They come up with these theories and these conspiracies just to try and ruin and destroy the government. Okay, it's just, they're part of a religion, and this is what they do.
Okay, but you still didn't answer my question.
I think this interview's done. Thank you very much. God bless. God bless.
Donald Trump, the President of the United States of America, is also a strong believer that climate change is a lie, like Ted Cruz. But you don't need to look very far to see the reasons why. In fact, you could name nearly everyone currently in the US office all for the same reasons, and the list would be pretty long with a lot of well-known names. Michael Flynn, Mike Pence, Myron E. Bell, all have connections with oil, coal, and all make huge amounts of money and don't believe in climate change. This can't all be a coincidence.
Earth, a once peaceful safe haven for all who call it home, has begun to reject everything and everyone who reside there. Like a plague, the overpopulation of the human race took a tight hold and spread, ravaging the once lush green surroundings and replacing them with dull, vast, concrete jungles. An age of great desperation fell upon the peaceful landscape. Human civilization began to break down due to the lack of essential resources. Water, food, electricity, everything we took for granted was in limited supply. The remaining nations waged war upon each other for the last pieces of land in the frantic struggled search for the dwindling number of fundamental resources. Blinded by our shrouded pursuit for survival, we could only watch on as the devastation of war tore apart cities, towns, and even lives. Long polluted nights followed the overwhelming ruin, but beneath the rubble, something stirred within the darkness. Some say it was a rising feverish heat of the Earth's core that awoke the creature. One thing was for certain. We weren't prepared. We weren't prepared for the carnage that was about to rise from the darkness. Humanity's annihilation began its ascent.
Thoughts, laughter in the dark, echoes in the silence, waiting for the spark. Hold me while I'm naked, catch me if you can. Suicide statements are the measure of the man. Do you dream in color? Do you dream in color? Do you dream in color? To resist, video junkie, looking for a fix, sick obsession, terminal twist, caught in possession of a never open wrist. Do you dream in color? 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 Destiny decrees, permanent reliance on sides of extremes. Absent at the wedding, present at the birth, turning up the lights now, all across the earth. Do you dream in color? 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 Dreaming
This great meeting is gathered here tonight to hear the policy and fate of fascism. Fascism, above all, rests upon teamwork, the ability to pull together, the power to subordinate every interest of section or individual to the nation as a whole. Sooner or later, in the lives of great nations, comes the moment of decision, comes the moment of destiny. And this nation again and again in the great hours of its fate has swept aside convention, has swept aside the little man of talk and of delay, and has decided to follow men and movements. What say we go forward to action? Let who dare follow us in this hour. That is the permanent, the mighty mood of Britain. We say that England is not finished. We say that England is not dead. We say, and I ask you to say with us, lift up your voices in this great meeting in the heart of England. Send to all the world a message. England lives and marches on.
This policy of mixture, what does it really mean? It doesn't mean freedom for the black. It doesn't mean brotherhood or any of the cant and humbug which is talk. That is just the mask for some of the vilest forces on earth to exploit the backward peoples in the future as they have done in the past. Every one of us in this hall was old enough to see before the war, or educated enough, which you all are, to read after the war. Every one of you know what happened. How the financial forces in the 30s went into these backward countries, into India within the empire, into Hong Kong, into Japan, into China, and exploited these backward peoples to produce cheap, sweaty goods which ruined the great industries of Britain and of Europe, which put Lancashire out of business in the cotton trade, Yorkshire out of business in the woolen trade. And these poor devils of coolies were exploited for a wage of a few shillings a week. For what purpose? To enable the City of London and Wall Street, New York, to make fatter profits by sweating the air and helping us. That was the whole purpose. And with what result? China thrown into the arms of communism. The largest population in the world simply passed as a present to communism. Because if you treat people like that, it's the only possible result. If there's no one to save them, no one to help them, and they've simply been ground into poverty and sweating and exploitation, what can you expect except they go communist as they did? And India going in the same direction too. One of our own empire countries in the past thrown in that direction, traveling that way. And all these countries which have been exploited, thrown and tossed aside by finance, are now becoming the victims of communism. So finance seeks fresh fields of exploitation. Where do they turn? When the old people are exhausted, when many a poor laborer has died of consumption and of other horrible diseases in their sweatshops, or when they're exhausted fields of exploitation, where do they turn now? New pastures, new forests, fresh virgin land. Utterly ignorant people, savage people, no trade union protection, absolutely nothing, no one to look after them. And then you erect a Union Jack or another flag of Europe, and under that flag where you allow these things to happen as we have done in the past, and those poor devils that have been sweated and exploited in Africa, like the other poor devils in China, India and Japan, a great new field for sweatshops to be opened up, so that these new industries which we're creating in Britain today will be destroyed as the old industries were. Simplified, rationalized machinery with a few white surveyors, and then the masses of cheap colored labor torn off the land and taken into the sweatshops to work and labor and cough their guts out with tuberculosis until they too are thrown on the scrap heap of the sweatshops. Is that worthy of Britain? Is that to be the future of Europe? And is this competition to be organized within our European Brotherhood, bringing in these sweat fields in Africa into our Europe civilization so that the financial part in one European country can use it against the financial part in another? All the great financial central part of the world, now shifted from the city of London to Wall Street, New York, shall be able, on the mass of money, of wealth, and of power which it brings to it, again and again to exert its influence in politics, until, as you see today, it is childish nonsense to say that a British government rules Britain. It's nothing to do with British government or the British people. The government of the world is the financial government, the power of money and of money alone.
What are they doing with the bowls using for meat?
Hey dickhead, watch where you're walking.
Your ex is killer in bed. Hey mum,
Hi.
you ready?
For
It's tonight, I'm just about to set off.
I'm sorry I can't. Something's come up, I'm sorry.
Are you joking?
I've gotta go.
Are you always this arrogant, or is today a special occasion?
You don't understand.
No, you don't understand.
I've got so much work to do for the placement, dude. I need to make the most of it.
And I'm sure you'll go far if you catch the right fucking train.
What the fuck? I have to go.
Nah, don't go.
Why?
Because if you do, you'll be dead. To me, to Mary, to your family.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I don't care. You're not that stupid.
Bad choice.
animal.
Mary, what are you doing here?
I can't believe you.
What are you talking about?
This is the ant.
Lily, I've just taken I'm falling to sleep.
I never took you for that kind of person. You just wait till this get out.
Is this real?
Yes.
I'm sorry. You can't listen to everything Lily says. He has so many secrets.
And everyone that happens to be true.
Mary, don't do this.
You're going to go for life thinking one day things will get better. But one day you won't take pills to go to sleep. I just want you to know from the bottom of my heart that will never happen. Because we know. Now, go to sleep.
Food. It is one of life's most basic needs. Are you aware that there's a food crisis in the UK right now? The crisis is so severe that 1 in 6 parents go without food themselves so they can feed their families. A charity organisation called the Trussell Trust is helping those in need throughout the food crisis. The charity began the fight against UK hunger back in 2000, opening their very first food bank, which was set up in a shed. Today, the Trussell Trust has over 400 food banks dotted around the UK as the fight against UK hunger grows. Over 1 million people used the Trussell Trust Food Bank last year, adding to additional support needed to help the Trussell Trust charity and people in need. It's that time of year again, Christmas. It's a time to give to those in need. If you're wondering what you can do to help people in the food crisis, it's easy and simple. Gather any in-date tinned goods, such as pasta, rice, cereal, coffee, tea, sugar and also biscuits. After you've gathered your food donations, take them to your local Trussell Trust food bank and they'll do the rest. If you would like to know where you can find your friendly local food bank, or just want more information on who the Trussell Trust charity are and what they do, visit www.trusselltrust.org to find out more. Thank you.
Baby, you know about the autumn when the leaves are falling down. Yeah. Oh, and all the pretty flowers slowly wither to the ground. All the birds that stayed the summer spread their wings and fly away. And the sun that used to shine so bright goes to hide behind the gray. Well, you also heard about springtime, life returns in such galore. And because it wasn't always there, you enjoy it all.
Good morning, Trey. Okay, Trey Hancock. Okay, Trey. I want to know what you did today and who you killed.
You already know about that though, don't you?
We know that you have been hired to kill people, but we want to know about who hired you. Why? We would be more than capable of offering you some sort of reward for your incriminating evidence towards who hired you. Anything at all would be helpful. Think of it, a new house, money, a new life, Trey.
Alright then. Well, they never arranged to meet me. They'd always send me a message or contact me through payphones.
That's fine. That's fine. But do you have anything incriminating that could be helpful at all?
Don't really know what you want me to tell you.
How about by you starting with what you did on the day you killed Steve Buckley?
Alright. Started off like any other day. Packed my stuff, got ready, left. Met my friend Emily on the corner of the restaurant. And then we went in.
Was this Emily involved?
Other than being there at the time, she had no idea what was going on. So I excused myself to go to the bathroom. And I waited there for him. I dragged the body into the stall and got out of the way. Then left with Emily.
And you just left the body there? Trey, I don't think you're being honest with me. You said you left the body in the bathroom, but we have evidence to show it is behind the restaurant. Shot to the head and a calling card was left.
Well, perhaps I missed a few details.
How about I take a guess at what I think happened?
Be my guest.
I think Emily was involved with Steve's murder. I don't think you two were alone. The waiter was involved too, right? You said you left Steve's body in the bathroom, but we have CCTV footage of someone in a restaurant uniform dragging a particular large sack out the back.
Baby, you know about the autumn, when the leaves are falling down. Yeah. Oh, and all the pretty flowers slowly wither to the ground. All the birds that stayed the summer spread their wings and fly away. And the star that used to shine so bright goes to hide behind the rain. Well, you also heard about springtime, life returns to the Lord. And because it wasn't always there, you enjoy it all the more. I've been away for so long, but like the winds of the summer weather, I am back and I'm even better. Wow, nothing can break up this bond. We're in a process inside time. Well, you know it is quite common. Complications come around. Can't escape that we're all human. We all have our
Around with the green screen. Do you guys want a break? Because
I'm up, but I want to get this done.
Fed.
This is Titan. He is an albino tangerine tremper leopard gecko. The ground-dwelling leopard gecko originates from Afghanistan, northern India, and Asia. This reptile is nocturnal and crepuscular, which means they come out at dawn and dusk. Leopard geckos live in small caves and underneath rocks. This ground-dwelling gecko is cold-blooded, which means it regulates to its temperature in the environment. These animals don't bask like bearded dragons or snakes. They receive their heat from their stomach, so they lay on rocks and receive their heat from there. The leopard gecko sheds its skin the same as snakes and other reptiles, but it does it slightly different. The leopard gecko does it in bits. First, the gecko must find a humid place for them to shed. Once they have found the cave, then they will sit in there for a couple of hours beforehand for the skin to be easier to pull off and eat. Yes, this animal eats it, it doesn't just leave it. The reason it eats it is because then they don't leave any scent of smell that could possibly attract other animals and make the leopard gecko more vulnerable. To look after this animal, you want to imitate what their environment would be like in the wild. Leopard geckos don't like too big of a tank. You're looking at a tank that is 1 meter long. These animals are very territorial and they don't like to be in groups. When they are hatchlings, only 2 are hatched, and as they get older, you have to separate them. If you have a male and a male leopard gecko, they will fight to the death. And if you have 2 females together, there is a 50-50% chance that they will like each other. The reason being is because they have to be the same size, the same age, and the same weight. In your tank, you need 3 hides. You need 1 hide for the gecko to shed, another hide in the middle of the tank, so if they don't want a lot of heat, they can move. And of course, the warm hide in case they do want heat. You need a water bowl, a calcium bowl, and a heat mat. The heat mat is an imitation of what they would do in the wild, which is to lay on the rocks. You will need a ceramic heat lamp to make sure that it warms up the tank between 25 and 31 degrees Celsius. For the earth, 100% do not use sand, use eco-earth, which is equivalent to cocoa fibre. When you go to a pet store, the first thing that the person at the cashier will say to you is, "Sand is fine." Sand actually isn't fine. If you put your gecko in a tank with sand, after a few months, your gecko will start to get impaction. The gecko will start breathing the sand, and when it's eating off the ground, it will eat the sand. As time goes by, you will notice your gecko isn't going to the toilet because it can't. And as well, you will notice that your gecko will stop eating and drinking water. If your gecko's stomach is impacted, you must very quickly go to the vet, give it medication, but sometimes it's actually too late and your gecko will not make it. They will try to operate on your gecko, but the chances are very low that it will actually survive the operation because the stress will kill them. So overall, you don't want to put your gecko in a tank with sand if you want things to go really wrong. Leopard geckos eat mealworms, crickets, small locusts and waxworms, but only give your waxworms once a week and when they are fully grown adults. The reason you only give it to them as adults is because the hatchlings will get very greedy and they will stop eating their mealworms, crickets and locusts because it's the equivalent to chocolate. Every time you feed your gecko, you need to make sure that the food has been dusted with D3 calcium or with minerals. Only give your geckos minerals once a week and the calcium every other day. From a baby up to 6 months, you feed them every day, and from 6 months to an adult, which is the equivalent to the age of 1, you feed them every other day. When you feed your leopard gecko and dusted crickets or mealworms or locusts or waxworms, you usually give it calcium D3. But even if you give it calcium D3, in your tank you must have a little separate bowl of calcium without D3. Therefore, your gecko will be able to go for the calcium when it wants to. MBD, metabolic bone disease. Metabolic bone disease is a disorder of bone strength usually caused by abnormalities of minerals such as calcium, phosphorus and vitamin D. Leopard geckos, snakes, bearded dragons and lots more reptiles need calcium and vitamins in their system, otherwise it can cause MBD. If your gecko has metabolic bone disease, it's because it's low on calcium and vitamins. If this occurs, you must take your gecko to the vets because their bones will start to go spongy. MBD sometimes can be improved, but there is a permanent damage that cannot be reversed. MBD essentially results in the removal of calcium from the bone, and the bone is left as a spongy fibrous tissue. Overall, the leopard gecko is a lovely animal to look after. I hope you have enjoyed the video.
Attention, experience, no, music.
Lancaster, a city rich in history and culture and home to over 52,000 people. It has a wide range of historic buildings and venues, and today I'm going to delve into Lancaster's history, showing you these attractions as we take a look at Lancaster train station, the ever-growing business in the heart of Lancaster, which continues to grow. Lancaster Museum, filled with archaeological finds and exhibitions of Lancaster's past. And then, Lancaster Town Hall, as well as the Queen Victoria and War Memorials. Before we take a look at Lancaster Castle, the beautiful castle drenched in history at the very top of Lancaster. We'll also take a look at some historic monuments and beautiful viewpoints from the surrounding areas. I think it's important that we appreciate these amazing places and don't take them for granted, as one day they will be gone. So join me on this journey throughout Lancaster as I show you the right outlook. Lancaster Station has been in the heart of Lancaster since it was built in 1846. It has grown into one of the busiest places in the whole of Lancaster. I often pass through this station myself, and in fact in 2012, 1.8 million people passed through this station. In 2016, that number had risen to 2.3 million. That number is absolutely astounding. Lancaster Museum, a building which is located on Market Street in the centre of Lancaster. This old Georgian building was built in 1923 from sandstone and has a Greek tetrastyle porch. Inside the museum are artefacts that were found right here in Lancaster, including a tombstone that's almost 2,000 years old. Here in the centre of Lancaster you will find Lancaster Town Hall, Built in 1909, it was originally used as the town court and was also used as an extra jail cell. The top of the town hall features a 24-hour clock which was built for Lord Ashton as he paid for the town hall to be built. When the town was built in 1909, the town decided to rebuild Dalton Square, adding a memorial of Queen Victoria. The Queen is standing on a Portland stone slab. Around the sides are engravings of some famous Victorian artists, politicians and scientists, including Sir Henry Irving, Sir Robert Peel and Charles Darwin. Lancaster's War Memorial is in a small garden at the side of the town hall. It commemorates those who died in the first two world wars. There are 10 long panels which contain the 1,010 names of all those who were killed in the war that were from Lancaster. Located at the very top of Lancaster is the infamous Lancaster Castle. The castle is maybe Lancaster's top tourist attraction. Originally opening in 79 AD, it was the oldest prison in Europe until it closed in 2011. The front gate of the castle is 20 metres high and has gone through many restorations as it is one of the oldest parts of the castle. Here in Bolton-le Sands are two of the oldest churches in the area. One is St Mary's of the Angels Catholic Church, which is one of the younger churches, being built in just 1882. Just up the road is the second and much older church, Holy Trinity. Holy Trinity was built before 1092 and is one of the oldest churches in the region. It is built from stone with a slate roof. The slate roof is one of the oldest parts of the building and often needs restoring. On one end is a small tower including a small clock which is over 500 years old. The church is also still active, holding communions on Wednesdays and Sundays. At the back of the church is a cemetery. It's the largest cemetery in the area. So there you have it. Some of the best places to visit in and around Lancaster. I hope I've made you realise the importance and history of these places, as now it's up to us to keep them here for future generations to come. Thanks for joining me on this tour of Lancaster. Until next time, goodbye.
I know you, that look in your eyes is so familiar a gleam, and I know it's true that visions are seldom all they seem. But if I know you, I know what you'll do. You'll love me at once, the way you did once upon a dream. But if I know you, I know what you'll do. You'll love me at once, the way you did once upon a dream. I know you, I walked with you once upon a dream. I know you, that gleam in your eyes is so familiar a gleam, and I know it's true that visions are seldom all they seem. But if I know you, I know what you'll do. You'll love me at once, the way you did once upon a dream.
Hello? Ah, Andy, hello. Yeah, sorry, I've just been having kind of a bit of a weird turn into this morning. Yeah, I'm good for work. What? An abandoned studio? What's that? What's so interesting about that?
Tonight's first candidate for a Skippy All-Time Award. It returns. The thing with almost human brain, Electro the Robot. You asked for it.
I am Electro, mightiest of all robots. I was created.
So this is the place? It is indeed. There is definitely the place.
What more do you know about it?
Well, apart from its own brief, he said that there is a strange, signals that are picking up and, strange anomalies and stuff like that's coming from this room. I've tracked it down. Just all looks like a normal old studio. What do you think?
We're looking to find something in this old place.
Yeah.
So where should we start?
Start by unravelling things, I guess.
Okay.
Just need to find what could be causing that signal to keep beeping.
Everything's so dusty.
No, that's what you get from the studio. Have you seen anything shining or can you hear anything unusual that shouldn't be heard?
I feel like there's something at the back of my mind. I don't know, I can't explain it.
We can definitely sense something here, it's just...
Just keep looking around, we'll find it eventually.